Good evening. Welcome to Castle Kitchen. You know what? Forget this Hungarian accent. I ain't gonna do that all in this entire show. You came here to learn about cooking, and that's what this show is about. It's about cooking. We're gonna learn simple ways of making delicious food the way I would make it, but it's a simple way that you could learn to make it yourselves. We're going to learn about making pancakes and bacon today. We're going to put a little bacon inside of our pancakes and it'll be something delicious. And that's what these shows will be about weekly. We'll be about cooking simple foods, anything from Italian to American classics to simple burgers, everything that you love. And that's what we're about here at this spooky castle in this very nice kitchen that they remodeled for us. You should have seen this place before. It was a lot nicer, I'm telling you. We had the torture rack over here, we had the finger knuckler over here. I mean, come on. But, you know, what am I going to do? You have all these villagers coming in and they're complaining about the screams at night. And we can't have that on the show, apparently, according to our editor over there. So, I'm your host, the Phantom, and I'm going to show you how to make all this wonderful stuff. And that's all you have to know about me. I'm just this phantom who enjoys living in this nice, dreary castle with all these wonderful spiders. I mean, I'm friends with Dracula all day, so it's a hoot. It's a monster mash, is what you could say. Well, I guess we better get started, and they're giving me a bunch of hand signals over here that I have no idea about. I've never been on television before. This is going on a web series, I'm told, so there's that. So much for stardom. Well, anyway, let's get started. The first thing you want to do is wash your hands. It is very important to wash your hands before preparing the pancakes. Or at least they say, so they say. I mean, we're on a horse show set, so does it really matter? And I know you, editor. You were going to put a little title card down below that you have to wash your hands, but fine, I'm going to do it for you. This is not important in any regard to being on a castle, but hey. See, I'm washing my hands, so aren't you happy? Yeah, the editor's over there smiling. Everyone's happy that the ghoul, the phantom here, is washing his hands. Yay, they're clapping in applause. See, guys? Even phantoms can wash hands, alright? You happy? Alright, this is all you need to make pancakes right here. You're going to need your measuring cup, measuring spoons, your mixing bowl, your mixer, and then your simple ingredients right here. 1 animal fat, some pixie dust, some human bone powder, some dragon bone powder, mice bone powder, and some salt from the Bermuda Triangle. All the stuff you could find in your local grocery store, no problem. When you reach phase 2, you're going to want to mix your wet ingredients. These wet ingredients include the animal fat, as stated before, 1 chicken egg, and rotten milk, our specialty. We always like our milk a little bit chunky, but, you know, and for all you humans out there, if you want to use regular milk, that's fine. But for us phantoms who live in haunted castles, we like our rotten milk. Next up on the making of pancakes, you want to have the proper measurement for each ingredient to make them. You're going to need 1.5 cups of human bone powder, 3 tablespoons of pixie dust, 1.5 teaspoons of mice bone powder, 1/4 teaspoon of dragon bone powder, and also the salt. So don't forget that. If you forget that, then, well, that's so much for you. I can't help you there. Now that we know each measurement for each ingredient, we're going to want to take those measurements and put them into the larger bowl. I like to be a little precise. You don't have to be precise if you don't want to. It just depends on the type of person you are. If you're picky about perfect measurements, then this is all for you. But if you're not, it is what it is. Put a little too much, so we're just going to dump a little bit back out. Like I said, I like to be sure about my measurements. Alright, so that's 1 cup. That's 1/2 cup. We're good on that. There's our human bone powder. Now we're going to add our mice powder. There's 1 tablespoon, and now we get the 1/2 tablespoon. That's all you need for your mice bone powder. I always like to mix the dry ingredients before going to phase 2 and adding the wet ingredients. You just make sure everything is nicely blended and it comes out a lot smoother and cleaner this way. Always a little tricky with this dragon bone powder. See, it could make a mess. So there it goes, now I made a mess. I just want to clean that up. There we go. Pile that dragon bone powder, get a nice little piece of paper over here. Keep your kitchen clean. And this is important, even in a haunted castle, you gotta keep your kitchen clean. That's one stipulant, is you gotta keep your kitchen clean. Alright, so now we're gonna add our pixie dust. Making a mess here already. What I probably should have done is taken the lid off. That would have been the smart thing to do. But no, I like to do things the hard way. There we go. Plenty of pixie dust. Lastly, we want to put this Bermuda salt in there. Now you could always add a little bit more salt, but our animal fat already has salt in it, so we don't want to put too much salt in it. There we go. Now everything is properly mixed in there, as you can see. And you just give it a good swirl and make sure it's all nicely mixed together, all nicely blended. Now that's alright, there's some clumps in there from the human bone powder, but that's alright, it's all gonna work out in the end. Alright, there we go. Now we can go on to phase 2 and add our wet ingredients. Now we're on phase 2, we're going to add our wet ingredients. We're going to take our spoiled milk here, and we're going to add the 1 cup. As always, being exactly precise, 1 cup. And 2 tablespoons. Next, you're going to add your animal fat that we pre-melted. It is exactly 4 tablespoons of butter. Next, you want to add your animal fat that we pre-melted beforehand. As you can see, it's pre-melted now. You want to kind of leave it out to soften it up, not to be so rock hard. 4 tablespoons is all you need. So now we can take, and you want to be sure, first off, I should mention this, you want to let it cool because we're going to add our chicken egg to this, and you don't want that chicken egg to be cooked by the hot animal fat. So now we're going to put in our animal fat. There we go. Now you take your little spatula here and you kind of mix everything up a little bit. Make sure it's nice and blended. And this is all before we add our chicken egg. Alright. Now we get our chicken egg. Now you just kind of mix everything together. You want to make sure this is all nicely evenly blended. You get all the little lumps, you got everything a little bit. I like to stir in a little bit fast motion. I don't know what your preference is. I like to stir in a fast motion, make sure everything's just beaten together. There you go, there's your pancake batter, all set to go. While we let our pancake batter rest, we're going to prepare the bacon. You're just going to need a simple pan, a nice little stove top, and everything will be peachy. Now I like my bacon a little extra crispy. I don't know about you, you could have it a little flabby, but I don't like it flabby. I like it nice and crispy. You want to be sure. Hey, wait a minute. Where'd you go? Oh, they moved you over there and they don't tell me anything. They always surprise me. Well, I was going to say, the next thing you want to do to be sure when you handle the bacon is you want to wear your proper gloves. Now, you want to make sure these gloves are sterile and clean and everything like that. So it's best to get them fresh out of the box and maybe give them a rinse over like I did beforehand. So you never know what's going to happen to the chemicals and whatnot, and blah blah blah. Hey, it adds to the bacon. The bacon can be manufactured by a factory. Who knows at this point in time? Now you want to set your stove top meter to, I put it at about a 4, which is about low, on the low end of medium, but that's again your choice. Depending on the stovetop you have, you might have high, low, and little dots, no numbers. But just so you know that I'm putting mine at a little bit low, medium, low. Like I said, I like to keep my bacon extra crispy. That's a beautiful sound right there. All that bacon fat, and I'll be using this bacon fat a little bit later. I'll make sure that there's plenty of room on here for all the bacon we're gonna need. It's alright if your bacon touches, that's not a problem. Make sure that all that bacon is nice and cooked evenly. Now, I ain't precise on how long it takes for bacon to get nice and crispy. You kind of have to eyeball this. It depends on, again, what your preferences are. Now, you're probably enjoying the sound of this bacon cooking. All that bubbling and little pops of the fat. One thing I haven't told you is this bacon ain't from pigs. This bacon is from the backs of grown men, no? That's right, this is human bacon. Now that's known as cannibalism. But it don't bother me too much where the bacon comes from, as long as it's good, you know, nice crispy bacon. And you just want to flip over your bacon a little bit and let the other side cook for a little bit. It's going to help with the crisping process. Look at that nice caramelization already. If this was smell-o-vision, I'm sure you would love the smell of that sweet human bacon. Don't smell much different from pork bacon. Sweet, savory smell. I just want to flip it back over. Look at that. Nice and golden on that side. At this point, it's getting to this nice little golden color that you want. Look at that. This is letting you know that it's ready to come out. Give it a few more on this side, and then we'll be ready to put it away and start making our pancakes. Alright, so what you're going to want to do is you want to grab a plate, put some paper towel on top, soak up some of this bacon grease. There, lay it out on there, let it soak it all up. Now, it may look flabby right now, but this is going to harden it up as soon as it cools down. Set that aside, let that cool off. Get all crispy. Alright, now you're going to want to take your pancake batter over here to the stove. And we're going to make some delicious pancakes together. Now we're ready for our pancakes. We want to make sure all that bacon fat is still in there nice and... There we go. Alright. Now what I did is I lowered the temperature to 3 instead of 4 now. Now we're just going to pour a little bit at a time here. Spread it out, give it that circular shape you want. Now this should take only about 4 minutes to cook on one side before you gotta flip it over and cook it again for another 2 minutes. You'll really be able to tell when you see the little air bubble pockets starting to form up. As you see, the little air pockets are now starting to form. So it means this sucker is ready to flip. You want to kind of do this in a quick motion. There you go. Look at that, beautiful golden. That's what you want to see. Now, like I said, this side shouldn't take too long, about 2 minutes or so, and you'll have a perfectly good pancake ready to go. Alright, now you're ready to pick up your pancake. There you are. Perfectly golden on this side. Perfectly golden on this side. Easy peasy. I want to make sure to swirl that bacon fat around for the next batch. Now this one, we're going to add the bacon to it. And you want to pour the amount you want right there. Get it in that circular pattern we're all too familiar with. Now, as soon as you start seeing some air pockets, that's when you want to add your bacon. You want to kind of get it in there when it's a little bit still gooey, so that way we could get it right in the center of that. See, at this point, you're starting to see some bubbles. That's where you want to grab your little bacon here. Put it right in there. Grab another strip of bacon. Put it right in there. Make sure it's covered in batter. You want to recook that bacon. Now we're starting to see some little bubble pockets. That means we're probably ready to turn this pancake over. There you are, nice and golden on the other side. Let that sit there, cook on the other side. And this is how you put that nice little bacon inside of your pancakes. Gives that little surprise in there, a little extra kick to your. Plus, you got that nice little bacon grease in there cooking on your pancake. Ooh, man, that's gonna taste so good. Put some maple syrup on that later, or whatever your preference is. I don't know if you're more of an animal fat person or if you're more of a maple syrup person. I really like my syrup from maple trees. You could always get real good corn from our brethren up north. And that's true maple syrup. Also, hey, you can tell what's true maple syrup when it comes out more like water than it does come out like molasses. Alright, that should be plenty of time to come out now. Voila. Perfectly golden on this side. Perfectly golden on the other. Now you just keep rinsing and repeating until you use up all that nice pancake batter. Unless you want to save it for later, that's always a choice of yours. This is how to make nice, fresh pancakes. Real simple. May not be everyone, depending on your work schedule. But if you have the time, it's always best to make homemade pancakes. Nice and traditional like. None of that pre-made, pre-packaged stuff that you can buy. I like my pancakes made from scratch. And there you have it, some deliciously cooked pancakes with bacon. You can make these any way you wish. You could add chocolate chips, you could add blueberries, you could add strawberries. It doesn't have to be bacon, it could be anything you want. But this is simple homemade bacon and homemade pancakes, ready to be served at any breakfast, any time. You could have it for lunch, dinner, whatever your preference is. I hope you enjoyed the show. We'll stay in touch next week on a following episode. Enjoy another time cooking. Till then, see you next week.